Sukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamasyadilaksham Ekam Nityam. Now, let me begin with a simple but unsettling reality. Children today are more educated than any generation in history. Yet, they are also more anxious, more stressed, and more emotionally fragile than ever before. The data tells us this clearly. By the age of 15, nearly 3 out of 4 students report chronic stress-related symptoms. Childhood anxiety and depression have risen by over 40% in the past decade. Almost 70% of graduates globally say they feel empty or purposeless despite academic success. And more than 90% of senior corporate leaders say the education system fails to develop leadership qualities. So let us be very clear. This is not a failure of children. This is not a failure of parents. This is a failure of the education paradigm itself. As revealed by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, when education is driven by fear, comparison, and constant performance pressure, intelligence does not expand, it contracts. Fear may produce obedience, but obedience does not produce leaders. What the system is producing today are exam machines trained to memorize, job robots trained to comply, emotionally unprepared adults trained to survive, but not to live. This forum exists to ask a deeper and necessary question. Is education meant to produce employable workers or conscious human beings capable of living and leading powerfully? Before we move into the discussion, I'd like to begin by introducing our panelists, starting with our distinguished guest, who brings an external perspective to today's conversation, Dr. Rupa Swaminathan. Dr. Rupa Swaminathan is a seasoned educationist, policy consultant, and institution builder with over 20 years of leadership experience across higher education, technical and vocational education and training, healthcare training, agribusiness, and human capital development in Malaysia and internationally. She has led state-level, national, and cross-border education and skills initiatives, working closely with government agencies, universities, industry partners, and community organizations to design job-ready curriculum, sustainable training ecosystems, and inclusive economic pathways. Welcome, Dr. Rupa. Yes, and you're muted, ma. And I'd like to introduce our other panelists, the Rajya Sabha members, the members of Parliament of KAILASA.
Of this panel. Firstly, I thank Mataji for giving me an opportunity to share my thoughts on raising conscious leaders and not exam machines and job robots, which we are right now. It is a great challenge for our young children because they are very much to exam oriented than learning and building their knowledge and intelligence. Firstly, this education is actually beyond the grades. Grades are not determining a human being, but the education that they are gaining from, regardless from school, formally or informally. And this information should be an awareness creating information, or knowledge should create awareness instead of just memory. It's like they are more to memorizing their subjects or anything that given to them. They are looking at it as I have to memorize it in order to gain the grades and and of course they want to achieve higher scores at their schools and universities. Well, this is from my point of view, the teachers, the scholars, the educationists must change this perspective, must change their mindset. Children need not to become rocket scientists, but they must become a good human being for their, for their life, and also for their, family, community, and as well for the nation building. I think I'll share more.
Thank you, Ma. Actually, Dr. Rupa, I would like to, given the wealth of experience that you have
Yeah.
in education, what is that you have noticed? You have shared as a, just a summary. But what is that one constant thing that you notice in the education system where, this memorizing, as you said, the education system has faltered and failed to this extent? And how has it affected children, students? What is your perspective on that, please?
Well, children are no longer, enjoying their childhood. Number one. Number two, they are lacking of empathy, lacking of respect for the elders, parents, and the relationship between the children, the teachers, regardless, even the community around them is getting lesser and lesser, especially because of this. Maybe from their, of course, there is a big age gap. They look at us as there's nothing for us to communicate because their communication is very much to the gadgets, and education is making them to more distance from us because they feel they have this exam tension, they have this scoring problem, they have to secure their future through this education. So from my I will say that past so many years that I'm in education line, compared to about 20 years ago and now, children are so far or distance from parents and the community simply because of the education system, which is very much orienting them for the achievement than self-realization.
Definitely true, ma'am. Actually, what you said is absolutely true because today the average child spends more than 7 hours a day on screens and less than 15 minutes in meaningful human conversation. So we are
Exactly.
raising children who are digitally connected but emotionally disconnected.
Yeah.
And Bhagavan says, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam reminds us that all the information that we feed into the children in the name of education can fill memory, but only consciousness can awaken the cognitions. So I now request and introduce other panelists, Ma Jayanti Kanagaratnam, to share your thoughts on this topic, please.
Nithyanandam to Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashiva and Nithyananda Ma Nitya Prematma, our distinguished guest Dr. Rupa Saminathan, and all the respected panelists and the disciples, devotees, and viewers. Welcome and welcome all to this blessed session today. So today I would like to share my points on the topic of raising conscious leaders and not exam machines and job robots. So I would like to start with the leadership consciousness, which is Ishwaratva, is your birthright actually. And every child naturally possesses the leadership consciousness. So our role is to awaken it, but not to impose it. For example, I was blessed to become an e-Gurukul Acharya by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam. And it was really exciting journey for me when, as I guided kids during e-Gurukul classes. In e-Gurukul, a kid gives the solutions to another kid who is facing a problem. They enrich and empower each other. There is no jealousy or comparisons. It is a very loving environment. Then comes the responsibility for everything around, which creates miracles. So,
Jayanti ma, if I may interrupt. So you had mentioned that you are one of the acharyas for the e-Gurukul. If you can please also expand what is the e-Gurukul so our viewers would understand that.
Okay. Yes, sure, ma. So e-Gurukul is actually the Vedic education according to the Sanatana Hindu Dharma. And it guides the children, the spiritual morning routine like yoga, Nithyananda yoga, and also offering the gratitudes to the Guru by offering Guru Puja. And this is followed by sharing of the powerful cognitions, which includes explaining to the children about the chakras and how each chakra is connected to their emotions. And finally, we have the most exciting part of the e-Gurukul, which is power manifestation. And the children's third eye is awakened by the Guru, and they can manifest the powers. Even in exams, they don't have to even study or memorize. When their third eye is open, they can produce the results in the exams. They can answer the questions in the exams by the use of the third eye. Yes, ma. So this is just a brief explanation of e-Gurukul.
Thank you, ma. Actually, as Swamiji always says, whichever part of the world we are in, he will bring enlightenment to us. He even brings the Gurukul to us. And, we all would have heard about the Vedic Hindu Gurukul system where, the students gather around the Rishi, the Acharya, and learn. But Swamiji makes it available for the entire world by making it go online, making it as an e-Gurukul. And these e-Gurukuls are available all over the world, whichever part of the world you are in, for our children to benefit from. So that is what Ma Jayanti was explaining, that she's blessed to be one of the acharyas, e-Gurukul acharyas, that has been sincerely, regularly conducting these classes in Malaysia. Yes, Ma, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you, ma. So, responsibility. See, people feel that responsibility is a burden, but actually no. From the conscious being, from consciousness, responsibility for everything around creates the miracles. A leader, a true leader, takes the responsibility not from the face of looking at it as a burden, but actually as a power. So Bhagavan says responsibility is actually a power, and when you take responsibility as a true leader, miracles just happen. So the children should be taught that taking responsibility for their entire reality transforms the problems into opportunities. So for example, when children take the responsibility to serve food during Thaipusam, so they are not just serving, but they are channeling the divine nourishment to everyone. So especially the e-Gurukul, there is one e-Gurukul kit. Every year, the kit comes with a family to serve food in our booth during Thaipusam. And when he serves the food, it's from his blessed hands. The food reaches the devotees and it nourishes them and blesses them. And finally, the devotees become so impressed that they really want to contribute something to Swamiji. So that is the power of responsibility, because the child has taken the responsibility to serve the food during Thaipusam. And also another point I would like to explain is about implementing the primal education, not just primary education like in schools, but primal education, which is actually focusing on developing the capacity to visualize, hold, and then reproduce the concepts through art and creativity. So this is very, very interesting. For example, in a primal education, where a child, by simple instructions of words, is capable of visualizing, holding, and then reproducing that in the form of painting or art or carving or anything. So this is fundamentally the primary organic brain growing exercise and education. So the brain becomes organic. So what is the benefit of this? While other children, they have to struggle with exams, memorize and memorize. But this child who has this organic brain cuts across the subjects intuitively, and their brain develops organic understanding without forceful memorization. So they know everything about the universe from the organic brain. So the next point is implementing daily the deity worship and puja. So these practices develop the devotion and concentration and connection to the higher consciousness. For example, there was one Gurukul kid in my class. He says he just likes to offer water for his favorite deity, just a mug of water. But it is something really great, just a cup of water for his favorite deity. The child's water offering can manifest divine energies. So the child learns integrity through caring for the deity. Bhagavan says that deity worship should be done by people who radiate integrity, who love it, but not as a duty. So Bhagavan himself also witnessed the Gurukul kids puja. When they do the puja, they were so integrated, and it caused the Nithyanandeshwara deity to materialize Kungumam. So this is the power of the integrity and the true love that the kids naturally show towards their favorite deity.
Yes. Thank you, Ma. Thank you, Ma Jayanti. Actually, there's so many things that we can actually share about the Gurukul, where, from a very young age, actually, one of my most favorite is the first introduction the child hears about himself or herself is that they are Paramashivam. This is the education where it begins, the first introduction to who they are and the whole lifestyle, as Ma Jayanti was sharing about integrity and responsibility. And, again, one of my most favorites is relating with the deities. I mean, today we see modern kids playing with modern toys and superheroes, trying to exaggerate the superheroes to more than life, larger than life, but they fail. Whether it is Superman or any of those modern, day heroes they choose, they fail to fulfill. Whereas when the child from a very young age start relating with the deities, they evolve, and grow consciously and much and more they actually become what they worship. So that is such a beautiful environment, ambience that Swamiji creates in Gurukul. And not only that, so it is not just about education. 64 arts Swamiji brings, teaches, presents them to the kids, where the kids evolve and start naturally evolving in all of those arts, not with forced learning or memorizing, but they beautifully evolve. So thank you, Ma Jayanti, for sharing this, and we would love to hear more from you as we come back. And I would like to now request Ma Kashinatha, please share your thoughts about what we are discussing today. Yes, Ma.
Nithyananda Ma. Nithyananda, I'm Kashinatha Nanda. Wish to extend my respectful greetings to my beloved Swamiji, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam, Ma Prematma Swami, and to all devotees and honorable panelists, VIPs and guests of honor present here tonight. I am deeply grateful for this opportunity to share on the forum the topic today, raising conscious leaders and not exam machines or job. Education must awaken intelligence, integrity, responsibility, and inner awareness. not merely produce certificate holders trained to obey systems. Today's education system celebrates marks, ranks, and certificates. A child who scores well is called successful, even if that child is anxious, fearful, confused, or directionless in life. This is how exam machines are created. Let me share a living example. We have all seen students who score straight A's, enter good universities, secure high-paying jobs, yet within a few years, they feel empty, stressed, or burnt out. Some struggle with depression, and some feel trapped in jobs they hate to do, and some lose the ability to think independently. They were trained to clear exams, but not trained to handle life. This is a job robot. Now, let us look at a conscious leader. A conscious leader may or may not be a topper, but they have clarity. They know who they are. They take responsibility. When situations are difficult, they do not panic or collapse. They respond with intelligence. A child who fails an exam but calmly says, I understand where I went wrong. I will improve is showing more leadership than a child who scores 100% but collapses emotionally under pressure. Marks test memory. Life tests consciousness. Another living example is what we saw during crises like the COVID period recently. Many highly educated people waited helplessly and for instruction. At the same time, some ordinary individuals like shop owners, volunteers, spiritual seekers, organized food, helped neighbors, created solutions. They were not appointed leaders. They become leaders because they were conscious and responsible. We are here to raise conscious leaders, not exam machines or job robots. True education nurtures clarity, compassion, courage, and consciousness. Preparing children for life is not just for employment. The goal for education is not to manufacture exam machines to one narrow goal, scoring marks, clearing exams, and securing a job. Children are trained to memorize, repeat, and compete. Slowly, without anyone noticing, we are turning living, intelligent human beings into exam machines and job robots. But let us pause and ask ourselves, is this the true purpose of education? A child is not born to become a machine. A child is born as pure consciousness with curiosity, intelligence, creativity, and immense inner potential. When education ignores this inner dimension, we may create workers, but we fail to create leaders, a good conscious leader. A conscious leader is not someone who merely holds a position or a certificate. A conscious leader is the one who thinks independently, not fear, responds with awareness, not reactions, acts with integrity, not fear, lives with a purpose, not pressure. Such leaders are needed not only in governments or organizations, but in every family, communities, businesses, and spiritual spaces. Sanatana Dharma has always understood this truth. Our Asian Gurukul system did not focus on exams alone. It focuses on characters before career, consciousness before competence, responsibility before rights, inner awakening before outer success. Therefore, education was meant to awaken the guru within, to help a child discover who they are, why they exist, and how they can contribute to the world. When education is rooted in consciousness, children grow up with emotional strength, mental clarity, moral courage, and spiritual grounding. Such individuals cannot be easily manipulated, exploited, or broken by life's challenges. They become stable, compassionate, and powerful contributor to the society. Today, the world does not suffer from lack of educated people. It suffers from lack of conscious people. Therefore, our responsibility as a parent, educators, leaders, it is very clear we must shift from producing exam results to raising human beings, from training, obedience, to awakening intelligence, from fear-based success to purpose-driven living. Let us commit ourselves to raising conscious leaders, not exam machines, not job robots, but awaken the individuals who can lead the humanity with clarity, compassion, and consciousness. Our beloved Swamiji, Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam, repeatedly reminds us that education without consciousness is dangerous. Today's education system is focused only on producing exam results and employable manpower. In this process, the most important aspect of a human being is ignored: consciousness itself. Children are not born as empty vessels to be filled with information. They are born as living manifestation of Paramashiva with extraordinary intelligence, power, and awareness. When education trains them only to memorize, obey, and compete, it disconnects them from their inner source. This is how exam machines and job robots are created. Swamiji teaches that the purpose of education is not survival, but enlightenment, not fear-driven success, but powerful cognition, not fitting into society, but raising the consciousness of society. A conscious leader, as Swamiji defines, is one who is rooted in integrity, established in authenticity, operating from responsibility, expressing enriching leadership. Such leadership is not positional, it is essential. Sanatana Hindu Dharma has always been a consciousness civilization, not a certificate civilization. In the Gurukul system, students were trained to master their inner space, their emotion, their thinking patterns, their connection to the Guru and Paramashiva. Only then were skills, science, and arts are taught. That is why our civilization produced rishis, scientists, kings, healers, and enlightened beings, not job seekers, but job creators, not followers, but pathfinders. Swamiji's vision of education is to manifest leadership through awakening, where a child grows up knowing, I am not here to struggle, I am here to fit in, I am in completion. Life's challenges does not need more degree holders. Today, humanity does not need more degree holders. It needs more awakened beings. Therefore, let us consciously choose to raise leaders, not exam machines, not job robots, but beings who are aligned to Paramashiva, grounded to Dharma, and capable of enriching the world. This is not just education reform. This is civilization revival. That is the difference education rooted in consciousness makes. Sanatana Hindu Dharma has always produced such leaders. In the Gurukul system, students are trained to sit in silence and observe their mind, live with discipline and responsibility, serve society, not just seek comfort. That is why our civilization produced rishis and healers. Swamiji teaches that integrity, authenticity, responsibility, and enriching are the foundation of leadership. When a child are taught these principles early, they grew up fearless in decision making, stable under pressure, compassionate without weakness, powerful without arrogance. Another simple living example. In a family, a conscious child will naturally take care of the elders, help the siblings, and and stand up for what is right, not because of rules, but because of the awareness. The child is already a leader, even without a degree. Today, the world does not lack intelligence, it lacks conscious intelligence. Therefore, our goal must be clear, not to raise children who ask, what job will I get? But to raise beings who ask, how can I contribute? When we raise conscious leaders, jobs get created. When we raise exam machines, fears gets multiplied. Let us choose education that awakens consciousness, build characters, and revive Sanadana Dharma on the next generation, leads to humanity with clarity, courage, and compassion. When we talk about education today, let us ask all of us simple, because globally we are being strange contradiction.
Yes,
According to international studies, over 60 to 70% of students report high stress related to exams and career pressure. Among working professionals, surveys repeatedly show that more than half feel disengaged or unhappy in their jobs. And when they are well paid, so clearly marks and jobs alone are not solving the problem. Let us share a very common living example we all recognize. We know students who were school toppers, gold medalists, engineers, doctors, professionals. On paper, everything looks perfect. But when they face one failure, a job loss, relationship issues, or financial pressure, many of them emotionally collapse. Some say, I don't know what to do with my life. Why does this happen? Because they were trained to answer questions, but not trained to face uncertainty. That is what I mean by exam machine. Now, let me give you another example. As you all know,
sorry, Makashinatha, thank you so much. Actually, I just want to jump in here because you are saying wonderful points. Actually, the kind of importance that is given to schools, exams, educations, certificates, but in reality, if you look at the reality, the people that are successful, there are n number of examples who are entrepreneurs, successful leaders who are actually dropouts. I mean, I can just give you n number of examples. If you take Mr. Bill Gates, dropped out of Harvard and founded Microsoft. Mr. Steve Jobs left his college study and started Apple. And of course, now Mr. Mark Zuckerberg, and so on and on. Of course, Swamiji, SPH Nithyananda Paramashivam, he pursued enlightenment over conventional schooling and founded thousands of organizations, and now ultimately revived a civilizational nation, KAILASA itself. So I mean, clearly shows the modern education that is being imposed, on the children. Actually, it is not helping them. These are not just opinions, right? We can see clear facts. Just in the US, Today, education is no longer just failing to nurture children, it's actively endangering them. Just consider this. In recent surveys, 20.4% of US high school students seriously considered suicide. Nearly 1 in 10 attempted suicide. In 2021 alone, 1 in 4 high school students reported suicidal ideas. Among adolescents aged 12 to 17, even after some decline, since the pandemic peak, around 700,000 still attempt suicide every year. These numbers are not abstract. They represent children sitting in classrooms, children sitting at dining tables, children sitting silently in their rooms. And the crisis does not end with school. Among college students and even young adults, suicide is now the third leading cause of death for ages 15 to 24. These numbers are very scary. 18% of college students are formally diagnosed with depression. 52% report chronic loneliness, even in socially connected environments. And the recent surveys show a slight drop in suicidal ideas. 11% of college students still seriously consider suicide. So let us be honest. If education were truly succeeding, these numbers would not exist. But this is what we are forced to. This is what the society is forcing our children to do with this so-called modern education. Now, I'd like to please introduce Ma Shambhuvananda to share your thoughts. You're muted.
Nithyanandam, respected Swamiji, SPH Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, Ma Paramatma, all the panelists, devotees, and everyone present in this night, I, Ma Shambhuvananda, wish to express my deepest respect to Swamiji and all of you. I am honored to share my views tonight at this forum on the topic raising conscious leaders, not exam machines or job robots. This is privilege to speak on how we can guide children and students to awaken their consciousness, creativity, and leadership rather than just train them to exam or routine works. True leadership does not create robots. True leadership awakens consciousness. Key distinction: exam machines, memory bank without consciousness. Job robots, task performers without creativity. Conscious leaders awaken begins manifesting reality. Emotional mastery was supervision. Emotional mastery was suppression. Hiding feelings 23% authentic. Transform emotion into power is 87% as a mastery. Let's talk about emotion. Many children and even adults are taught to hide their feelings, to cry, not to cry, not to get angry, not to suppress, not to express sadness. They are trained like job robots, but there are reality. Hiding emotions makes you on 23% authentic. That means most of what you show to the world is a mask, not a real face you. Example, I met a student who never speaks when upset. At school, he appears calm and smiles, but inside, he feels angry, frustrated every day. He, he memorizes lessons, school subjects, follow the rules, but there is no spark, no creativity. Even teachers can feel something is missing. He is mechanically doing task. This is emotional suppression. உணர்ச்சிகளை கட்டுப்படுத்தல் versus உணர்ச்சிகளை அடக்காமல் இருக்கிறது. பல குழந்தைகள் மற்றும் பெரியவர்கள் உணர்ச்சிகளை மறக்க கற்றுக்கொள்கிறார்கள். இரண்டாவது, கண்ணீர் வருவது, கோபம் வருவது, கவலைப்படுவது, இதெல்லாம் செய்யக்கூடாது அப்படின்னு உள்ளுக்குள்ளேயே அடக்கி வச்சிருக்காங்க. இவங்க ஒரு ரோபோ மாதிரி இருக்காங்க. உதாரணம் ஒரு மாணவன் கோபம் வந்தா பேச மாட்டான், பள்ளியில சுமூகமா இருக்க மாட்டான், ஆனா உள்ளே கோபமும் சோர்வும் தான் இருக்கும். Transform emotion into our powers. Now contrast this with emotional mastery. This is when you feel your emotion fully, understand them, that transforms them into conscious action. Research shows people with emotional mastery operate at 87% effectiveness in leadership, creativity, and relationship. That's almost 4 times more impact than someone who suppress feelings. Example, think of Krishna guiding Arjuna in the battles. Everyone remember the secret of Krishna and Arjuna, right? Before the war start, he didn't ignore Arjuna's fear, confusion. He felt it, understood, and transformed it into clarity and courage. Our beloved Swamiji is demonstrated how awareness of inner emotions allow him to uplift others, solve problems, and create powerful presence. Even here, angry never prolong. It is energy only. For a while only it will be, the angry, the emotions will be there. In daily life, it's same. A student frustrated with homework can either yell or cry silently, suppression, or pause, breathe, recognize the feelings, and focus energy to solve the problem calmly. The difference is immense, not just learning, but in how you live and related to others. Strength points. Takeaways. Suppression, low authentic, 23, low authenticity, 23% you hide and disconnect, creativity dies. The mastery is I power, 87%, you transform fear, anger, and sadness into focus, clarity, and leadership. Emotional mastery beats IQ in real life leadership and relationship. Leaders, great teachers, and spiritual masters throughout history, Krishna, Buddha, Swami Nithyananda, our Swamiji, Paramashivam, all operate from emotional intelligence. உணர்ச்சிகளை சக்தியாக மாற்றுறது கான்சியஸ் லீடர்ஸ். இப்போ உணர்ச்சிகளை சக்தியா மாற்றுறது பற்றி என்னன்னு பார்ப்போம். உணர்ச்சிகள் முழுமையா உணர்ந்து புரிந்து செயலில் சக்தியாக மாற்றுவது தான் இது குறிக்குது. ஆய்வுகள் சொல்லுகின்றன, உணர்ச்சிகள் கட்டுப்பாட்டில் உள்ளவர்கள் 87% திறம்பட செயல்படுறாங்களாம். அதே நேரத்துல அதை அடக்கி வைக்கிறோம் உணர்ச்சிகள், அவங்க 4 மடங்கு உணர்ச்சிகளை அடக்கப்பட்டவர்களை விட 4 மடங்கு அதிகமா இருக்குன்னு சொல்றாங்க. நம்ம சுவாமிஜியும் அதே போலத்தான் உள்ளார்ந்த உணர்ச்சிகளை பயன்படுத்தி மற்றவர்களையும் எழுப்புகிறார், பிரச்சனைகளையும் தீர்க்கிறார், சக்தியும் உருவாக்குகிறார். கிருஷ்ணர், புத்தர், சிவன், நமது சுவாமிஜி போன்ற பெரும் தலைவர்கள் எப்போதுமே உணர்ச்சி அறிவில் இருந்து செயல்பட்டவர்கள். I saw the children's in Adi Kailasa in Bangalore, Bididi. The children's blossom like flowers, பூக்களை போல மலர்ந்திருப்பார்கள். no worries, no fear. They live spontaneously, just being themselves, yet as aware and conscious leaders. The words like flow water, like நீராக ஓடுறது போல அவங்களுடைய அந்த way of words, and smoothly effortless, and every sentence shows clarity, presence, and confidence. The Gurukul trains them emotionally, mentally, and spirituality so that they are fully empowered. If you compare them with other children outside, their IQ, creativity, and emotion, stress was bliss anchoring. Exams are stressful, 32%. மதிப்பெண்கள் மன அழுத்தத்தை தரும். வாழ்க்கையே எனத் தேர்வு. நீங்கள் தேர்வு எழுதுபவர்கள் அல்ல. Let's talk about exams. Many children think exams are stressful. They feel tense, worry about marks, and even lost sleep. Study shows that kind of stress causes about 32% burnout in the school children. Children's memories mechanically like a robot, and learning becomes a pressure, not joy. Parents pressure, teachers pressure, so it is not enjoying. I mean, they are forced to learn. Example, last week, I saw one 12 years old boy student sitting in its desk all night, memorizing formula. By morning, he left exhausted and nervous, and in the exam hall, he blanked out despite knowing the answer. This is what happened when the stress dominates. Now imagine a different mindset. Life is my exam. Here, children see every task, studying, homework, or test as an opportunity to learn, growth, and express themselves. They are calm, they are focused and joyful. Research shows children with this attitude experience up to 85% is the inner peace. In Adi KAILASA Gurukul, children are very, very joyful. There are no pressure by studies. They learn naturally without fear and forcing, screaming. Nothing is there. Because of this, their minds and stay calm and clear and focused. Some children from Malaysia also went to study in Gurukul. After being initiated by Swamiji, they experience the different way of learning. And during the exams, Form 5 exams, one of the girl I remember, when they don't know how to answer, they close their eyes and meditate and become calm. In that calm space, the right answer came to them clearly as written in golden letters. This is happened because of conscious-based learning. Swamiji teaches that when a child is connected to the master's energy, the higher awareness institution becomes strong. Even we also will feel that sometimes we feel that we don't, sometimes the intuition say don't go now. But when we overcome, we just left it and we go and visit something, we want to go further, go overcome this one, the things will not happen. This is many times happens in my life. So nowadays, whatever the institution says, we just listen. This conscious privilege learning through clarity, not pressure, through awareness, not fear. Examples, a child studying in this mindset takes pauses, breathes, and approaches question calm. Even if make a mistake happens, he learns from it without fear. The energy stays high, concentration improves, and learning become enjoyable. Mana அழுத்தம் versus மகிழ்ச்சி. தேர்வுகள் பற்றி பேசலாம். பல குழந்தைகள் வந்து நினைக்கிறார்கள் தேர்வுகள் வந்து மன அழுத்தம் தரும். மதிப்பெண்கள் பற்றி கவலை, துக்கம், மனக்குறைவு, மன அழுத்தம் ஏற்படும். இது மாதிரி ஆய்வுகள் வந்து இப்படிதான் காட்டுது. இவ்விதமா மன அழுத்தம் மாணவர்களில் வந்து அந்த 32% வந்து நடக்குது. குழந்தைகள் ரோபோ போல கற்றுக்கொள்கிறார்கள். கற்றல் மகிழ்ச்சியாக மாறவில்லை. உதாரணமா கடந்த வாரம் வந்து ஒரு 12 வயது மாணவன் இரவு வந்து இரவு முழுதும் வந்து படித்து கொண்டிருந்து இருக்கும்போதே அவனுக்கு வந்து காலையில என்ன நடக்குதுன்னா அவனால வந்து கான்சென்ட்ரேட் பண்ண முடியல, சோர்வு வந்தது, பதற்றம் வருது, தேர்வுல வந்து பதில் எழுத முடியாம போயிருது, மனம் வந்து வெறுமையாகிறது. ஏன்னா இந்த மனப்பாடம் வந்து அவர்களை வந்து ஒரு அமைதியின்மையை கொடுக்குது. வாட் இஸ் ஹேப்பனிங் டு அவர் சில்ட்ரன் டுடே? Let me start with a common sense. The குழந்தை இரவில் வந்து தூங்காம மனப்பாடம் செய்து மார்னிங் மெமரைஸ் வித் they could not sleep. காரணம் என்னன்னா நல்ல மார்க் எடுக்கணும், குட்ஸ் மார்க்ஸ் எடுக்கணும், பேரண்ட்ஸ் ப்ரெஷர், டீச்சர்ஸ் ப்ரெஷர். ஸோ இந்த மாதிரி ப்ரெஷரில் இருக்கும்போது அவங்களால கவனம் செலுத்த முடியல. அடுத்த நாள் வந்து அவங்களால வந்து கான்சென்ட்ரேட் பண்ண முடியாமல் போயிடுது. 40% concentration loss when studying under fear and noise. This is not education. This is a pressure training. மற்றும் ஒரு மனப்பாங்கை பாருங்கள், கான்ஷியஸ் மனப்பாங்கு. வாழ்க்கை தான் என் தேர்வு. இப்போது குழந்தைகள் ஒவ்வொரு படிப்பையும், ஹோம்ஒர்க்கையும், தேர்வையும் கற்றதெல்லாம் வாய்ப்பாக பார்க்கிறார்கள். அமைதியாக, கவனமாக, மகிழ்ச்சியாக செயல்படுகிறார்கள். ஆய்வுகள் சொல்றபடி பார்த்தா இத்தகைய குழந்தைகள் வந்து ரொம்ப மன அமைதியோட ஆனந்தமா இருக்கிறார்கள். உதாரணம், ஒரு குழந்தை இது போன்ற மனப்பாங்குகளுடன் படிக்கும்போது இடைவேளை எடுத்துக்கொள்ளும் போது ஆழமான மூச்சு விட்டு கேள்விகளை அமைதியா அணுகணும். தவறு வந்தா கூட பயப்படாம, இது வந்து நமக்கு ஒரு பாடம், கற்றுக்கொள்றோம். தவறு வந்து வாழ்க்கையில திருத்திக்க முடியும். Stress was beliefs anchoring. Children are told exams are stressful, so the body tightens, the mind frees. They memories like job robots. But when the mindset change to life is my exam,
actually, yes,
the child become calm, alert, and joyful.
Thank you. Actually, you brought a very, very important point, right? Like when we are talking now today about the, exam machines, and we're talking how the students are prepared for exams and certificates, but not for life itself. You beautifully pointed out that life itself is an exam. That, today the modern kids are prepared for school exams and college exams and whatnot, but life as an exam, they fail. What they need to really prepare for is life. And that education, see, we are not here just to point out all kinds of problems and say, okay, life is a doom, there's no. Swamiji has already implemented the solution and our kids are living it. So we are here to share that there is possibility, and this is something that we have lived thousands of years ago, and yet to bring this back to our children where they can live and have a conscious life. So, but as we are discussing this, I'm going to request again Dr. Rupama to please share from your wealth of experience. Over 20 years, you have dealt with students and education. So if you could please share your experience on this.
Thank you, Ma. Yeah, thank you. Okay, first of all, I think all of us truly agree that education is supposed to be heart to mind. மனதிலிருந்து அறிவுக்கு போகக்கூடிய ஒரு விஷயமா தான் இருக்கும். மனசு என்பது ரெண்டையும், நல்லதையும் கெட்டதையும் உணரக்கூடியதா இருக்கும். வெறும் அறிவை மட்டும் கொண்டு நம்ம செயல்படும் போது அதுல உணர்வுகள் இருக்காது. அப்படின்னா நமக்கு ஒரு விஷயத்த செய்றோம். அது வந்து சரியா தப்பான்றது வந்து புத்தகத்த பார்த்து தான் அறிஞ்சுக்குவாங்க. அவங்க மனசு சொல்லாது. புத்தகத்துல சரின்னு போட்டிருந்தா அவங்க சரி அப்படி எடுத்துக்குவாங்க. Conscious is very much to me. I'm referring to myself. It's our feeling, our emotion. Today's the younger generation, they believe that being in an intellect um, is securing them a life, a job, a dignity, status, and emotionally இருக்கிறவங்கள வந்து அவங்க வந்து நீ ரொம்ப இமோஷனலா இருக்க, இது உன்னோட வாழ்க்கைக்கு நல்லதில்ல, இது உன்னை வந்து அடுத்த கட்டத்துக்கு கொண்டு போகாது. இமோஷன் இட் செல்ஃப் இஸ் அன் இன்டெலிஜென்ட் இல்லையா? அப்ப சுவாமிஜியோட நிறைய வீடியோஸ் பார்த்திருக்கேன், நிறைய அவருடைய ஸ்பீச்சஸ் கேட்டிருக்கேன். சுவாமிஜி இந்த யங்கர் ஜெனரேஷனை எங்க கொண்டு போகணும்னு சொல்றாருன்னா, அறிவுடையோரை எல்லோரும் மதிப்பல், அது உண்மை. ஆனா இந்த அறிவு எப்படிப்பட்டதா இருக்கணும்னா, ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஆஃப் ஆல் அவன் தன்னை உணரணும். the self realization must come within. And at what age we should start this? I think a panelist mentioned from the Gurukul, and another person from school. What's the difference between Gurukul and school? School is very formal. அதில் நம்மளுக்கு சப்ஜெக்ட்ஸ், டைம் டேபிள், அண்ட் அஃப்கோர்ஸ் அதில் ஒரு டிசிப்ளின் அண்ட் ஸ்ட்ரக்சர்ஸ் எல்லாம் இருக்கும். Gurukul, it will be teacher or the guru and student or Sishya's relationship. அதுல என்னெல்லாம் நம்மளுக்கு கிடைக்கும்னா அறிவோடு அன்பு, அந்த அன்போடு அறம், இது எல்லாமே சேர்ந்து தான் கிடைக்கும். அவன் அங்க மனிதர் ஆகிறான், நாட் அ மெஷின். பட் நம்மளுடைய கல்வி கூடங்கள், இதுதான் ஐ வாண்டட் டு ஸ்ட்ரெஸ் திஸ் பாயிண்ட். இந்த கல்வி கூடங்கள் வந்து எக்ஸாம் ஓரியன்டா ஏன் மாறி போச்சு? Why it becomes so exam oriented? Why we are producing this machine life? People become so mechanical. Simply because the parents, their expectation is my child must be better than the neighbor's child, my sister's child, my brother's child, or somebody's child. ஆனா என் பிள்ளை எல்லாத்தோட சிறந்தவனா இருக்கணும்ன்ற ஒரு, அது எல்லா பேரண்ட்ஸ், ஐம் அ மதர், எல்லாருக்கும் இருக்கும். ஆனா அந்த குழந்தையோட கெப்பாசிட்டி தெரிஞ்சு அவங்க செய்யறதுல இருந்தா தட்ஸ் ஃபைன், தே கேன் டேக். பட் ஐம் walking in and out of primary, secondary, university, and the kind of social problem that we are facing, I'm talking from the perspective of Malaysian children, and especially those from parents who are not very much into this professional life or financially okay. அப்படி உள்ள குழந்தைகளை வந்து வெறும் கல்வியை மட்டும் அவங்களுக்கு புகுத்திட்டா அவங்க சரியாயிருவாங்கன்ற நினைப்பே தப்பு. அவங்கள சரி பண்றதுக்கு வந்து நிறைய விஷயம் தேவைப்படுது. That's why when you mention the topic conscious leaders, I'm thinking 20 years from now, are we having conscious leaders, or right now we are producing conscious leaders, or leaders who are, I look at them as racing towards their stability, power, money, position, wealth. இதுக்குதான் அவங்க வந்து தன்னை தயார்படுத்திக்கிறாங்களே ஒழிய சக மனிதர்களோடு எப்படி வாழ்றது, தன்னை எப்படி சரி பண்ணிக்கிறது, தன்னுடைய குழந்தைகள், தங்களுடைய குடும்பம் அடுத்து வரும்பொழுது அவர்கள் எப்படி தங்களுடைய வாழ்க்கையை உருவாக்கிக்கிறதுல அவங்களுடைய அவங்களுடைய நினைப்பே அதுல இல்லைன்னு தான் நான் சொல்லுவேன். ஏன்னா டியூரிங் அவர் கவுன்சிலிங் the children will always highlight one thing. எங்க அம்மா அப்பா எங்களை வந்து பரீட்சைக்கு தான் படிக்க சொல்றாங்க. We used to conduct character building classes. In character building classes, we highlight a lot of things, including discipline. What is not even religious கூட நம்ம ரொம்ப அதிகமா சொல்ல மாட்டோம், spirituality. ஆனா அந்த குழந்தைகள் அதெல்லாம் வந்து ஏதோ ஒரு they look at that is all those things are not relevant to them. All they need to know is how I can pass my exam, how I can move on to the next level, and how this education can transform me and can earn me a better salary as my parents are expecting. 70 to 80%, this is the common problem. And my request, humble request to parents through this forum that we can take as a message, convey this to parents. Not every child need to become a rocket scientist. The future, not immediate even. அவங்களுக்கு கொஞ்ச நாள் எடுத்து கூட அவங்களை தன்னை உணர்ந்து தங்களுக்குள்ள வேலையோ அவங்களுடைய எதிர்காலத்தையே கூட நிர்ணயிக்கலாம். ஆனா அந்த அந்த ஃப்ரீடமை நம்ம கொடுத்துருக்கோமான அது இன்னும் அந்த அளவுக்கு நம்ம பெருசா அதை யோசிக்கல. We are not allowing the child to decide what they want, பிகாஸ் நமக்கே அந்த நாலேஜோ அவங்களுக்கு எது பிடிக்கும் அவங்களுக்கு எது சரியா வரும்னு சொல்லக்கூடிய ஒரு பெற்றோராகவும் நான் சொல்றது எல்லாரையும் குறிப்பிடல. கல்வியில பணத்துல அவங்களால அதிகமா போயிட்டு இந்த கல்வித்துறையை கவனிச்சு அதுல இருந்து வரக்கூடிய குழந்தைகள் எப்படி ஆகுறாங்கன்னு பார்க்காத பேரண்ட்ஸ்க்காக நான் பேசுறேன். I do a lot of program for B40. ஸோ அவங்க நினைக்கிறதெல்லாம் நல்லா படிச்சுட்டு நல்ல வேலைக்கு வந்துடணும். That's all they are expectation. But I'm worried of our future 10, 20 years from now. Is that all enough for us? Conscious leaders, not machines, not robot, career-based people. Then when come to their family, when come to their community, when come to the nation building, they fail deliberately because why? They only think of all this material life. அவங்களுடைய சக குடும்பத்தோடய அவங்களால ஒத்து போக முடியாத நிறைய இடைவெளிகள் வந்துருச்சு. A lot of gap has been, is established. Even now, children are not talking to the parents. Parents are unable to convince the children. Their friend circle is getting very, they only want their same type. They cannot communicate. They cannot mingle around with, a different type of people and characters and all that. Thus, I feel this forum, this topic that you have highlighted, Mataji, is good and very timely. And to me, of course, my sincere prayers and pranams to Swamiji to bless all these children to become not a machine or a exam-oriented and robotic kind of mindset, but they should be, more to human being, good human being. They lead themselves, firstly, their life, their future, the family, and the community, and they can become a leader for the nation. And we need a lot of blessing, and we pray to the Almighty for that. That's my opinion, Mataji.
Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you for sharing your thoughts, because as each one of us were sharing our perspectives, some were experiential, some of the things that what each one of us were facing in life, you have that wealth of experience day in and day out, dealing with students, dealing with curriculum, and seeing, especially with the B40 community, how their future is, what are they planning, as their future. I mean, you add a wealth of knowledge, like literally living experience of what today's world is facing. So thank you so much for sharing this valuable input to this forum. And we can see a stark difference. The so-called education, the Taittiriya Upanishad says the education should be expanding, not contracting. Unfortunately, that is what is forced on our children in the name of education, right? But when we shift this education, instead of being materialistic, instead of being competitive, fear-based, and just marks and certificates and jobs, instead of that, if we move this education to consciousness rather than competition, the outcomes change fundamentally. So basically, what we are trying to tell through this forum is not that we are here to just bombard you with all sorts of problems that can happen to your children. No. This is what is happening, unfortunately, but there is a solution. And that solution is not theoretical. This has already been implemented successfully by Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. He has successfully revived these ancient Gurukul systems, which again, we can see through the history of that success that we are still enjoying even today. I would say maybe that remnants we are enjoying today. That is why even today, wherever Hindus are living, they are being successful. But if we continue this way, without reviving this, without protecting this, we will lose not only the civilization, but our own children, our own future. So the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has revived this ancient Gurukul system in Kailasa. But this is not just for Kailasa Vasis. Bhagavan has made it available to the world through the e-Gurukuls, online Gurukuls all over the world. In addition, Swamiji also recommends homeschooling for the children. Parents spend a lot of money in getting whatever their kids want. Okay, you want car, you want this, you want that. I'll spend a lot of money for you, except spending time with them. Giving them whatever they want, except whatever they need. That's what actually the Gurukul provides. We say Mata, Pita, Guru, Devam. Mata takes the mother, leads you to the father, introduces the father. The father then introduces the Guru introduces you to God himself. When we break this system, then of course everything collapses and we run in confusion without knowing the purpose of our life and destroying our future itself. So the Gurukul system that is revived by Bhagavan SPH Nithyananda Paramashivam, we see the results are both measurable and experiential. So the observed outcomes that we have seen, as many of the panelists here were sharing, children engage with spiritual and philosophical texts with comprehension and curiosity, not fear. Meditation is not imposed on them. It becomes a natural daily choice. And conflicts are resolved through conscious communication, not suppression or aggression. And learning happens through clarity and joy, not pressure. These children are not withdrawn from the world. They are deeply prepared to face it. Actually, in fact, I think in our Gurukul, the total time that they spend in the so-called text reading or books is only, I think, 2 hours. The rest of the day, they learn so many arts. They go spend time in the temple doing alankar to the deities, doing puja, relating with the deities, and learning various arts throughout the day. By the time they grow up, they are skilled in all areas of life, and more than that, in life itself. So such is the Gurukul system, the education system that we have had for thousands of years, which unfortunately, in an endangered state, that Swamiji has revived it and relaunching to the kids that are around the world that are suffering with this so-called modern education system, which is essential. And he has, as I said again, he's providing this through e-Gurukuls, and more than anything, Swamiji has opened Kailasa to the entire world for all of us Hindus who are longing, yearning to have our children learn this way of ancient Gurukul system. Please come. The doors are open, and where you can bring your children as conscious beings, not as some slaves or robots, just memorizing and losing their lives to either some software companies or just becoming some job somewhere, making some lives ends meet and somehow surviving in their life. But instead they can become conscious beings and conscious leaders through the Gurukul system. So I just would like to request the panelists if anything else they would like to share. Ma Jayanti or Ma Shabua or Ma Kashinatha, if anything else you would like to share?
We are not telling that they shouldn't take exams and get certificates and all that. We must have both, but the most of the family must include the conscious studying. So that is more important. They must understand how when they become a leader, how they can approach the people. The character is very important. So I think both is important, but just education in receiving certificates and ranks only not enough, must include the conscious studies. So I encourage all the people who are listening here to bring your children to our Nithyananda Gurukul e-Gurukul system, where these children can learn and adapt to it. and their character will be different from the normal education children who are taking exams and all that. It's also in my own family. Even though my daughter is a lawyer, she has studied so well, but when come to character, the conscious character is different. She is very ego and very stubborn and different. So it's very difficult. So if they study the conscious ego system and all that, it will be different. And yesterday I saw a drama, Tamila, where two daughter-in-laws are fighting. I mean, not fighting, they're sharing what they had in their heart, their emotions. So one daughter-in-law is telling to the other, that I am educated, I'm holding certificates, I'm having degree and all that, I'm working in a very high position. So I come back, I'm tired. So that's what I rest. You are simply just a housewife, not educated. I got no any education and all that. So when I watch this, I feel that she is by telling that, she's hurting that person, telling that she got no education and she's only right to be at home and do work, housework, whereas she's working with good position and all that. So this kind of this one, I would like to tell that the character is also very important. So when you have conscious studies and all that, you will be a better person. You can, how to speak to people. Don't hurt others. So it's very important. We must have both. I would like to emphasize this. Thank you, Ma. Nithyananda.
Yes, thank you, Ma. Jayanti, Ma.
Yes, Nithyananda Ma. Yes, I would like to explain about the current crisis in Malaysia because of the education system. The symptom of the drug abuse crisis, whereby based on the statistics, so this year, 2025, 135,000 are officially recorded by June 2025 this year, are drug users and drug addicts. And 60% of them are youth aged 15 to 39. So if Saravanan Ayah could please share the statistics, Ayah.
Jayanti, Ma, I think we can proceed. Unfortunately, we have some technical issues with that.
Okay, sure. Thank you, Ma'am. So actually, I would like to stress the 60%, the youth aged 15 to 39 years old, majority have SPM, that means 19 years old or below education. And they just fall into drug addictions. So the root cause actually is what is missing in them is the leadership consciousness. They don't have the Ishwaratva, it's missing in them. You see, they have the victim conscious, the victimhood. And they're also missing the responsibility for the inner state, the responsibility as a power. And they are mentally affected, emotionally affected, lots of incompletions, emotional and mental incompletions, and they don't know how to handle the pressure. They don't know the inner tools to handle pressure in their life. And they are lost. They don't have a sense of purpose and fulfillment, like why are they born? What is the purpose in their life? They don't actually go in and ask themselves. And so how the addiction begins is through pressure. See, in school, they are pressured by different gangs, different groups. And also in school, there are lots of comparisons, like, competitions and comparisons. And the victim mentality, is there, like, why me? Why am I blamed? Why am I scolded by the teacher? And the emotional instability. So finally, to escape all this, they go into substance abuse, and their life, their future is destroyed. So Bhagavan says that's why the importance of awakening the conscious leadership, which actually will create the responsibility, which means I am responsible, which is actually the power, and the completion, but not competition. We complete inside, but no, we don't compete with others. And the D, which is we develop the ultimate intelligence. That means we know everything about the universe, and also the conscious breathing and meditation, and the purpose-driven living. That means what is the purpose of our life? Why are we born? And the authentic self-expression. So leadership is not taught, but it is actually awakened. It's something that we have to look inside us and awaken it. So the practical tools that can prevent this drug addiction is morning yoga and meditation. Without that means when after waking up, without looking at the handphone, yoga, do the yoga, meditation, and puja, devotion, and conscious breathing, and Gayatri mantra. And the conscious education actually leads to responsibilism, completion, powerful leadership, which actually leads to contribution. So a conscious leadership will actually encourage the person to contribute to the society. So finally, the final message is, don't just fight the drugs, but awaken the consciousness. So when leadership consciousness is awakened early, addiction never finds space. So with leadership consciousness, there will not be any more rehabilitation centers. That's what I wanted to share.
Thank you, Ma Jayanti, and I thank each and every one of the panelists, especially Dr. Rupa, amidst your busy schedule, for taking time and joining us and sharing your wealth of experience with us. Thank you, Ma.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Pranams to Swamiji.
Thank you, ma'am.
So for everyone that is listening, every parent, educator, and leader that is listening today has a choice. Either continue producing stressed, anxious, overworked robots, or raise enlightened leaders, children who think clearly, feel deeply, and act responsibly. This choice is not theoretical. It begins today in your home, in your classroom, and in your guidance. Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam reminds us, education should not teach children how to survive the world. It should teach them how to live powerfully in it. KAILASA is more than a school or a homeschool system or a philosophy. It is a living ecosystem of consciousness, a society where children are supported, nurtured, and awakened. Parents and educators, you do not need permission or credentials or external approval to begin this transformation. You only need one conscious decision. You need to decide consciously to shift from the fear-based education to consciousness-based leadership. So today, let us leave with one clarity, with courage and commitment to raise our children who lead, not follow, to awaken intelligence, integrity, and inner joy. See, the revolution is not in changing the world. It is in awakening the consciousness of its children. And that revolution starts right now, right here. So thank you all, viewers, for joining us, listening to us. If you like what you have heard, if you'd like to become part of KAILASA, or if you'd like to be trained to see how this works, if you're curious, want to explore it for a month, there is the Paramashiva Sena training, that is an ongoing training that has been happening. And presently it is happening in Los Angeles, as well as in India, in Tiruvannamalai. So you're welcome to register and participate and learn more about Kailasa, the education system, how the whole lifestyle is in Kailasa. Or if you're ready to jump in and take this lifestyle, take the life of sannyas, please do scan the QR code that is on the YouTube screen that you're seeing, or even in Facebook, or you'd like to support the work that Swamiji has been doing in reviving the civilization, you can become the Yajaman, the Sarvajna Pita Yajaman of Kailasa. In any case, you can scan the QR code and become part of Kailasa. We thank each and every one of you for sharing your time with us in learning and helping us also to explore into this topic and share. Thank you all. Let us now close with the Purna Mantra. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Sarvam Bhagavat Shri Nithyananda Paramashiva Padukarpanamastu. Om Nithyanandam